a common mistake that the scanners will pick up on election night. So that's great. Kind of the second choice is what we talked about, is filling out the same person for all the choices. Now again, your vote will still count for that person. I want to be very clear about that. It does not invalidate your ballot. However, it is also not the idea of ranked voting. You get no benefit from putting the same person for all the choices. That person only gets your first choice vote. Now that person isn't eligible to continue on, they get dropped. And the third thing, which is probably going to be really hard to see, is writing the numbers next to the person. So you want your first choice is number 1, you put a number 1 next to his name. Second choice, put number 2 next to her name. We want to be clear that doesn't work.
Now, will the machine, when it accepts your ballot, if you've done this, will it kick it out if you've inaccurately voted this way?
Only if it registers an overvote. And an overvote is where you fill multiple circles in.
Okay.
So.
Now, did they have to get new machines in order to be able to move forward with ranked choice voting this time?
Nope. The old machines, or the current machines I should say, I shouldn't call them old Ramsey County people. I'm sorry. Your machines are not old. They're the current machines. They will read the first choice on election night just like they would any other election. However, if no candidate gets a majority of the votes, more than 50% on election night, there will be a hand tabulation the following Monday to figure out who the winner is, or to count who the winner is, I should say.
I see.
Yep, and so there are machines out there, but we just don't have them.
But currently then, in other words, we're going to be able to use the current machines that we have.
Correct.
And, you know, and that's good, because I think a lot of folks might say, well, maybe it'd be interesting to try this new method, but if we had to buy all new machines, that's maybe an extra cost that, you know, maybe we wouldn't be able to afford or something,
yep,
you know.
Exactly. You know, and the country of Ireland has been using this system for years and years, and they do it all by hand.
Oh, really?
And so it's you know, it's nothing new. It's nothing, you know, I feel like, you know, in the last couple of elections, if anything Minnesotans know how to do, it's count ballots by hand.
Yes, that's
so,
right.
So it's going to be a great process.
Exactly. Well, you're giving me some ideas about maybe we could, you know, export. If we're always looking for new exports, right? We could export election machines to Ireland.
There we go. Yep.
Okay, what's next?
Well, then it's nice to explain to people how the votes are counted. And we've kind of touched upon it in a little bit here or there. But the first step is tallying the first choice votes. And if one candidate gets a majority, 50% plus 1, or more than that, it's game over. I mean, it's, you know, that person wins, and we know that on election night from the machines. However, that doesn't always happen. So step 2 is eliminating candidates who don't have a mathematical chance to win. And what I mean by mathematical chance is if that person got every other, like if you finish in like last place, obviously you have no mathematical chance to win. Those are the first votes. But if the second to last place person was only 1 or 2 votes higher than the last place. So let's say the last place person, we use small numbers to make it easy. Last place person got 4 votes. Second to last place person got 5 votes. The first place person's at 100 votes. So that person, the second to last place, could get all 4 votes, bring it up to 9, and still have no mathematical chance to win. So they would also get eliminated. So when you do that, the person you voted for in your second choice then gets your vote. And so you keep doing that, reallocating the votes until a person gets above 50%.
Okay.
And that's step 3, yeah.
Okay. Okay, there we go.
Yep, so the counting continues, doing it over and over until the candidate gets above 50%, or until you're down to just 2 candidates, and which candidate when it gets down to 2 has the most votes is the winner.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Interesting. Now, you had mentioned that there are a number of places where this is going to be their first election, just like here in St. Paul. You mentioned Oregon?
Portland, Maine is using it for the first time.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
Okay, yes, okay.
Yep. No, I said also Oakland and San Francisco, and they've been using it already.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Portland, Maine's for the first time this year.
Oh, interesting.
So yep, and so Minneapolis was 2 years ago. So it's not. So this is not a new idea. It's new to St. Paul.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Go ahead.
Well, the last thing we do, which we obviously won't do tonight because it's just the 2 of us,
yeah.
but we do a demonstration election. And so we have people, you know, want to do a presentation, we ask them to vote, I tabulate the votes right in front of them, because that, I found, is really the clincher. When people actually vote on it, they see the results tabulated, they go, oh, now I get it really. Like, they get it beforehand because they're obviously able to vote on it, so they get it, but then seeing it done, seeing it counted in front of them is really kind of the final piece, you know, the last piece of the puzzle, if you will. You finally see the complete picture.
It's that hands-on application. So then you're really practicing what, in theory, you've just read about. So I think that's great. That's really great.
Yeah.
And so even though it is just the two of us here, and we're not going to be able to actually do a full demonstration, perhaps we can kind of walk through what some of your demonstration, what you would do, because we may have some viewers out there that either maybe they would like to contact fairvoteminnesota.org and say, hey, we would like to try one of those demonstrations and have you come in and talk to a group of people. So maybe walk us through a little bit how that works and how much time something like that takes for an organization to do.
Yep. Well, we have our generic demo ballot where we rank desserts, but we're happy to change it for whatever you want. For example, one of the places that's had us come in, the Vine Park Brewery, they gave out some samples of beer and then had people vote on the beer. So that was one of my favorite, personally, one of my favorite elections to run. But, you know, we've done appetizers, you know, whatever your group wants to do, we'll tailor the election to. So we just, you know, we go in there and do about a 15 to 20 minute explanation. The voting takes about another 15 to 20 minutes, and then we have about 20 minutes kind of question and answer session, just, you know, any kind of lingering questions people might have, or so most people after the demo election get it, but there's still always a couple other questions, and so all inside it takes about an hour to come in and do this.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun, because I could envision it's a little late now in the season, but maybe the next time around. Certainly the St. Paul District Councils, what they could do, they could each have in their own districts, they could have little, like a little gathering, invite all the people in their district to come in, and they could, as you mentioned, use desserts or something else as what you're ranking as part of your voting system. And what a great way for the district councils to reach out to the people who live there so that they become more familiar with this way of voting.
Yep, and we have been working with the district councils to do that.
Yes.
A good example was a few weeks back, the St. Anthony District Council